What if I told you that underneath the veneer of ordinary life there lies a world so dark it's beyond comprehension? In the shadowy recesses of the internet, an underworld thrives. A place where humanity's most sinister desires are traded and bartered, the dark web. Its denizens are faceless, their actions chilling. It's here that our journey begins with a man whose very name embodies this darkness. Without revealing too much, let's just say his tale is not for the faint of heart. Enter Peter Scully, a man whose name sends shivers down the spines of those who know his story. Every story has a beginning, and Peter Scully's tale starts in the most ordinary of places, Australia. Born and raised in the land down under, Scully's life was seemingly normal. He grew up in Melbourne, pursuing a career in business. However, his ventures were far from successful, and one by one, they crumbled into financial ruin. This period of Scully's life was marked by failure and frustration. His dreams of wealth and prominence were constantly thwarted, his efforts seemingly in vain. Yet beneath this facade of normalcy, a darker current was beginning to stir. Unbeknownst to those around him, Scully was harboring a sinister side, one that would soon come to the fore in the most horrifying of ways. In the wake of his business failures, Scully decided to start afresh. He packed his bags and left Australia, setting his sights on the Philippines. It was here, in the bustling streets and crowded slums of this Southeast Asian nation, that Scully would descend into a world of unthinkable depravity. This transition marked a stark contrast in Scully's life, from a struggling businessman in Australia to a man whose name would become synonymous with the darkest corners of the human psyche. It's a chilling reminder that monsters can hide in plain sight, their true nature concealed beneath a veneer of normality. But as Scully left his old life behind, he was stepping into a world that would shock and horrify the globe. In the shadows of the Philippines, Scully's true nature began to emerge. It was here, thousands of miles away from his Australian homeland, that an insidious transformation occurred. Scully's life took a sinister turn, and he began exploiting children, the most vulnerable members of society. His deeds were shrouded in secrecy, hidden from the prying eyes of the law, but his actions were not just restricted to physical exploitation. He leveraged the anonymity of the dark web to share his monstrous acts with like-minded individuals. The creation of the infamous Daisy's Destruction video marked a new low in his descent into darkness. This video, still whispered about in hushed tones, sent shockwaves through the international law enforcement community. The sheer brutality of Scully's actions led to an unprecedented international manhunt. His face was plastered on every news outlet, his name synonymous with evil. The hunt spanned continents, involving agencies from Australia, Europe, and the United States. The world watched, holding its breath as the search for this monster intensified. Despite the mounting pressure and the international attention, Scully managed to evade capture for a significant period. This was in part due to the labyrinthine slums of the Philippines, which provided a perfect hiding place. But as the saying goes, you can run, but you can't hide forever. In the end, Scully's arrogance was his downfall. He underestimated the resolve of the international community and, more importantly, the resilience of his victims. The courage of a young girl, one of Scully's victims, was instrumental in his capture. She led the authorities to his hideout, bringing an end to his reign of terror. Scully's reign of terror was finally brought to an end, but the scars he left behind were far from healed. The trauma inflicted upon his victims was not something that could be easily erased. The echoes of his atrocities still resonate, serving as a grim reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink, but they also serve as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the strength of survivors, and the tireless pursuit of justice. In the wake of Scully's arrest, the world was left to grapple with the horrors he had unleashed. The trial that followed was a grim spectacle, unveiling a depth of depravity that left even seasoned law enforcement officials shaken. The victims, their identities protected, were faced with the daunting task of rebuilding their lives, their innocence irrevocably stolen. The wider community too was left scarred. The revelations sparked a wave of outrage and grief, a collective cry for justice and reform. Yet, amidst the darkness, there emerged the undeniable resilience of the human spirit, a renewed commitment to fight against child exploitation, to ensure that no child would ever again suffer at the hands of such monstrous evil. Peter Scully's story serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface, a darkness we must all be vigilant against. As we move forward, let us never forget the lessons